Hello and welcome to my channel. The subject of today is interrelations between markets, and we are going to explore how markets are interconnected. We'll see how a change in one market can ripple across others through substitutes, complements, derived demand, joint supply, competing supply, and the link between product and factor markets. By the end, you will also see the wider implications for firms, consumers, and resource allocation. So let's dive in. Interrelated markets. Markets do not work in isolation, but together, and supply and demand analysis will provide explanations about the interrelationship between different markets and industries. Factor and product markets are the generic names for the interrelated markets. Let us define these factor markets and product markets. Factor markets are the markets where resources like labor, land, and capital are bought and sold. Product markets are the markets where the finished goods and services are sold to consumers. Think about this. If the demand for electric cars rises, what happens? The firms will need to hire more engineers, more factory workers, maybe even expand their plants. That shows us all markets are interconnected. If we are to represent these two markets, we use the double diagram. One is the product market, electric car is the product. The other is the factor market, which is the labor market. Both diagrams show the shift of the demand to the right and represent the increasing demand in each market. In other words, when the demand for cars increases, it does not stop at the car market. It spreads into the labor market, steel market, energy market, and beyond. All markets are interrelated. This is an intro for the interrelated markets that we are going to discuss in our next slides. Factor and product markets we already define and discuss about. We are going to discuss about substitutes, complement, derived demand, joint supply, and competing supply. Now let's look at substitutes. They are goods that can replace each other. When the price of one rises, demand for the other increases. So substitute goods are alternatives that satisfy the same need. And what do you do when your favorite product gets more expensive? Well, most people buy less of it and look for a cheaper alternative. As examples, we have here butter and margarine, tea and coffee, iPhone and Samsung Galaxy. So if the price of coffee goes up, many switch to tea. Or if petrol becomes more costly, some switch to public transport. Substitutes show us how consumers adapt and how one market shift can immediately affect another. Please reflect on the substitutes you rely on and see if they align with your budget. Let us look at complements. So complements are goods that go together. When demand for one rises, demand for the other also rises. Have you ever bought a printer? What else did you need right away? That's right, ink cartridges. Or think about cars. Buying a car automatically means spending more on petrol or charging stations. Complements remind us that markets don't exist in isolation. They move hand in hand. Now let's move to derived demand. This is when demand for one good or service depends on demand for another. Here are a couple of industries that depend on each other for their final product. If more people buy cars, what else will the industry need more? Well, the industry will need steel, tires, and labor. If more houses are built, what else rises in demand? So construction workers, cement, and bricks. Derived demand shows us the hidden chain between industries. Inputs only matter because outputs are in demand. Joint supply. Joint supply happens when producing one good automatically means producing another. Think of cows. From the same animal we get beef and leather. Or crude oil, which gives us petrol and diesel. Joint supply reminds us that markets are linked not only by demand but also by production itself. Finally, let's look at competing supply, sometimes called the production dilemma. Imagine you are a farmer with a piece of land. What do you grow? Wheat for bread or corn for biofuels? You can't do both on the same land. You must choose. Let us go through the factors that impact the producer's decision. And finally, let's see how producers are solving the production dilemma. So we have one resource, which is the land, and the producers that must choose to grow wheat for bread or grow corn for biofuels. And here are a couple of factors. Price and profitability. Well, if higher market prices, this will bring higher profits, so producers will allocate more resources to that good. Costs of production. If input, labor, raw materials, energy are cheap, producers are more likely to make that good. Availability of resources. Limited land, labor, or capital may restrict production choices. Government policies. Taxes, subsidies, regulation can encourage or discourage certain goods. Market demand. Producers respond to consumer demand. If demand rises, they increase production. Competing supply choices. So one resource can produce different goods. So producers must decide the most profitable or strategic use. Producers make their choices based on prices, costs, resources available, government policies, and consumer demand. And here is the key. This dilemma is solved by calculating the opportunity cost. Let us remind what opportunity cost is. The next best alternative for gun. If you grow wheat, your opportunity cost is the corn you gave up. If you grow corn, your opportunity cost is the wheat you sacrificed. Competing supply shows us the tough trade-offs producers face every day. One resource, many possible uses, and the value of the choice not taken. And here we are at the end of our video. Nice and easy? I hope so. As a conclusion, markets do not work in isolation. Markets are interconnected, and the change in one affects others through supply and demand and resource allocation. If you want to know what's in it for you, look out for the next video called Implications of Interrelated Markets. Thank you and see you soon.